Prophet of thought.
Get ready.
Open your mind.
Lady cat, lady class, lady Kendra, the unicorn four.
Open your mind.
You know. Thursday. Unicorn four.
Open your
Lady class, lady Kendra, lady cat, lady unicorn four.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Peace, folks. What's good? Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you're here. Once again, it's Thursday night, and the Unicorn 4, T.L.O.T, will be in here live and direct as soon as I can get them the damn link, because you know my black ass don't know what it is to come on time. God damn it. But y'all gotta forgive me though, man. I got a lot of shit going on. I was freaking at the shop. I had a lot of deliveries. I literally just got here a little while ago. And it's crazy. I got these two buildings now. It's just crazy, y'all. But I'm here. So don't be mad at me. Yeah. Tonight, T.L.O.T, live and direct up in here on the old TPOT YouTube page. And tonight, we will be talking about who is the better woman. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, hold on to your horses tonight, because it may get a little wild and crazy up in here. I'm going to get to sending the ladies the link up in here. They probably like, what the hell is he doing? Behind y'all, just crazy style. I looked up, it was like 8:45. I was like, God damn. But I'm on it, everyone. I am on it. Yes, I am on it. Yeah, so last night, as y'all know, I didn't do nothing. I figured I'd take a night off and just kind of relax, bullshit with my lady, bug the shit out of her. Do that. I was like extra tired yesterday, y'all, because y'all know I'm in the South. So, that sun be kicking my ass, man. Ass. Royal ass kicking, too. Bullshit ass kicking. Royal ass kicking, because I do a lot of my work. I say it's 50-50, but I do a lot of work outside. And usually when I'm outside, I ain't in no sun. So I am getting a little darker though. I'm liking that. You know, I'm liking that. The blacker the better. That's my that is my battle cry. The blacker, the better. Yeah, so a lot of shit been going on, in media. I've been watching some of the stuff that I've been seeing up in here, you know, and it's getting crazy, y'all. It's getting crazy. People been putting up people personal shit and personal business and just nutty stuff, man. It's just been crazy, man. It's just been crazy. People don't that's because people don't give a shit, man. Don't give a shit. You know, they can't get up on here, argue with you and shit, you know, and have that debate, have that talk, that whatever. They don't want to get on here and do that. They want to get on here and put your business in the street and try to fucking embarrass you and shit. You know? These motherfuckers is nigger hoes, man. They freaking nigger hoes, man. They just are. Goddamn nigger hoes. What's good? BJ Allen D. What's good, brother? What's going on? Kyle Antoine. What's up, Lady Nisha? What's good? Ebony Knight 85. What's good? Peace, folks. Yeah, man. I was just saying that, it's been getting crazy, man, on these YouTube streets, man. These dudes, man, have been fucking putting people personal information and shit out. They've been putting people's pictures of people, girls and kids and all this kind of bullshit. I mean, this shit is getting out of hand, man. What's wrong with these people, man? What is wrong with these people? And they do this shit. They do this shit, man. And they know goddamn well they wouldn't want nobody doing that shit to them. They know they wouldn't. They'd be beside them fucking selves if somebody did that shit to them, man. You know the shit got bad because I made a video about it the other day. I mean, they would not want somebody doing that shit to them. They wouldn't. They wouldn't want nobody doing that shit to them, man. They wouldn't. But they think it's all right to do that shit to other people, man. Shit is just nuts, man. I mean, it's totally nuts, man. I don't know what we have come to, man, at this point, man. I don't know what the hell people are doing. I don't know what the hell they're thinking about. I mean, they're beyond the pale, man. I mean, I never thought it would get to the point on media where people would be taking media and using media not to spread a message or share their content with people or nothing like that. They're doing this shit to try to hurt people. They doing this shit to try to embarrass people, try to expose people and all that kind of shit. I mean, it's like it's just getting out of hand, man. It really is. It's really getting out of hand, man. It's really getting out of fucking hand. It's getting out of hand. What's good, Lady Classic? I see you up there. Yeah, man, it's just really getting out of hand, man. It really is. It's just, it's getting out of hand. But I guess that's all part for the course, man. I guess that's what we sign up for when we get up on here and we do this shit, man, and we put ourselves out there and all that kind of shit. That's why I'm glad I don't have little children, man. So I don't have people dragging my little kids and the shit like that. Motherfuckers can drag me into it, drag my wife into it. We grown. Whatever niggas want to do, because I can get dirty with the rest of them. Because guess what? I know how to do research too. Okay, so come my way with that shit. Come my way with that shit. Feel free. Trust me. When I come back at you, though, I'm gonna come back at you tenfold. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? But it's just been crazy, man. It's just been nuts. But what you gonna do, man? Like I said, that's what we signed up for, man. When we decided to get on this shit, when we decided to show our faces and show our hand, basically, show our hand. You put yourself out there, man. There's no turning back. The only way you can turn back is by completely being off this shit. You know, there's no, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You know, you can't make something that happen. What's up, Lady Ming? I see you up there. You can't make something that happen not happen. You know, you can't do it. So, you know, I guess we at a stage now where, you know, you got to pretty much roll with the punches. You have to roll with the punches because, I mean, motherfuckers are going to be throwing all kinds of shit at you. They're going to be throwing everything at you except the kitchen sink, you know, because that's the world that we live in. They're going to be throwing everything at you except the kitchen sink, especially if they can't deal with your arguments. You know what I'm saying? If they can't deal with your arguments, because we got this thing with us now where, you know, we want to get into the personal shit. You know, we want to do that because, see, we don't like what somebody's saying on a computer screen when you can just hit the button and that's it, you know? Hey, Lady Cats, I see you down there. You know, you can just hit the button and that's it. All right. So I don't know what we've come to, y'all, but you know, we ready for it here at old T.L.O.T, you know, because as I've said in the past, and I'll say again tonight, you're making a crucial fucking mistake thinking that T.P.O.T is a soft target. Far from that. Just so you know. Yeah. So anyway, tonight, like I said, we will be talking about the better woman. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and drop a few coins in this here Streamlabs link, okay? If you're feeling generous with your coins tonight, you might as well throw a few up in there, okay? And if you're feeling generous with your likes tonight, well, I don't give a damn. I don't care if you're feeling generous or not with your damn likes. You need to put some of those in there. Brother Black Ram in the house. What's good, Brother Black Ram? What's going on? I might have to bring old Brother Black Ram in on this one. I might have to bring him in on this one. I might have to bring Brother Black Ram in on the old panel, man. That'll be good. That'll be good. I might have to bring my man in. I might have to do it. What's going on, Malika? Lady Ming, I see you down there. Now, folks, y'all know I don't like when the damn likes don't match the watch numbers. Y'all know I don't like that, right? I mean, if you're gonna be in here, at least if you could, do me this favor. Do me this favor. If you're going to be in here, at least do what you can to make these two numbers match. There's no way I got this one number and this a different number. I mean, it only takes a second to hit the like button, man. If you're gonna be in here, if you're not gonna hit the like button on the way in, I mean, for Christ's sakes, could you hit it on the way out? It's greatly appreciated. It's not like I'm asking you to put some money in this here bucket right here. It's not like I'm asking you to put money in here. I'm just asking you for a like down here. Come on, look out for the brother. Lady Ming, Lady Cats, what's good?
None too much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I wanted to talk about this tonight because we was talking about the subjugation of black folks last week, right? And I said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take this to another, we're going to take it on another plane. We're going to kind of divide it up a little bit. And my assertion is, now this is my belief, okay? Let me just put this out there before we even get the show started. When I was a young guy, I dated all kinds of women, okay? I dated Hispanic women, I dated black women, I dated white women. I even had a girl from Denmark one time. I mean, I've been with all stripes, okay? And I didn't discriminate when I was a young guy, especially when I was coming up. It's like 18, 19, 20 years old. I didn't give a damn. You know, if you look good and you had a vagina, I didn't care if you was blue, green, yellow, pink, purple, polka dots. You look good, you got a vagina, it's on. I didn't care about the color. But as I got older and started having kids and whatnot, I kind of, settled,
Mhm.
settled myself. And I said that, I would be with, black women only because I wanted to have black children. I didn't want to have mixed children and stuff like that. And in my opinion, now this is me. So don't go to write me hate mail, y'all. My opinion, I think that black women are the most beautiful, lovely women. That's what I think. Okay. On face value. That's what I think. Now,
Mhm.
other brothers may think something else. That's what I think. I think that black women, hold the crown in beauty, right? So let me
Mhm.
just put that out there, all right, before we even get started. But on the other side of that, there's also things about other women that have I don't want to say an appeal, but certain other women probably have certain traits that differ from black women because it's not so much about color as it is culture. Okay. If you take a black woman and you raise her around a bunch of white folks, she might act like white folks. If you put her with a bunch of Asian folks, she might act like Asian folks. So I don't think it's necessarily about color as opposed to culture. But anyway, um tonight I want to ask you ladies, because you ladies are women, do you consider yourselves competing? Do you believe that you're competing with other women, uh, white women, Hispanic women, Asian women? Do you ladies feel like you're competing with these other groups of women?
Now, I gotta say, and this is gonna apply to a lot of my answers probably going forward in this conversation, but I don't honestly take the time to consider other groups of women like at all. Like I just don't. I mean, I live in a place where it's probably 75% white. Definitely at least 85% not black. And I don't really consider that 85% of women. I'm considering the 15% of women that are my people. And then from there, honestly, I'm dividing the women into West Indies and non-West Indies. And so the women that I'm thinking about at all are my people. So when I go into, let's say, a party, I look for, other black women, and I'm mostly looking at them to see, like, am I dressed appropriately? As far as, am I, too dressed up, not dressed up enough, perfect. I'm not measuring that against other groups of women because I know that, culturally and just, the way that they tend to be raised, they have different standards than we do for certain things. Like, for example, what you'd wear to church. So as far as that, like as far as from a looks perspective, I'm never really women in general on that level. If I'm noticing other women, I'm not noticing the little these girls or those girls or like I don't see them, and I never really did. Like I mean, I don't really see them as my competition. If I like some guy and he doesn't like me, I'm a big proponent of like the people who like you. So if there's a guy and he's really good looking and whatever, but he only dates white girls, well, I guess he's not for me because I can't be a white girl. And now if there's a guy and he dates black girls, okay, well now I'm in the running. If he only likes dark skinned girls, okay, well again, I can't be a dark skinned girl. So, I don't really put that pressure on myself to feel like I need to be in competition with other women to begin with. But I could tell you 100%, I don't really pay attention to women of other races in general.
I'd say sometimes if it's a guy I really like what Ruby said, I'll pay attention to what kind of girls he likes, and yeah, if he doesn't like my type, then I kind of just stop competing because I'm like, what's the point? There, if he has his mind set on a certain type of woman, then kind of just have to move on to somebody who would like somebody like me.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mm.
I mean, to answer the question on its face, I say no, I'm not in competition with anyone because it's not in my nature to grade myself against others. I grade myself against my old self in the future place I'm trying to be. But realistically speaking, yes, you're in competition. Let's just be honest. It's always been the survival of the fittest. That's biological. We can't get past that no matter how hard we try. Even not competing is a form of competing. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I do compete. Um, and then it's just part a little bit, it's just part of my nature, but I don't allow the competition to jade or color my perspective of the world. So with that competition, even when I win or lose, I'm still a winner. So I feel like competition in and of itself is actually a little bit healthy too. It tends to keep everybody on their toes a little bit, and as a woman, we we compete with other women even when we're not meaning to compete with other women, as I'm sure men do amongst men. So to just act like we just totally don't do it would be disingenuous at best.
So it's a question: do we compete with other women? Do women compete with other women?
Yeah, do you as a black woman, do you feel like you're competing with white women, Asian women, Hispanic women?
No. I can't compete with other women of other races as far as romance is concerned because as a black woman, I'm unique in my standing. My circumstances are unique as a whole. I'm talking about black people's circumstances, our culture, how we raise, how we do things, very different. So I can't compete with because I've been around Asian women, and so that they're very quiet. They're not always very submissive. That's a myth. But their culture teaches them to be quiet, non-confrontational, not, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to guys and stuff like that. I'm never going to be that way. My culture doesn't demand it. So if we're competing, we can't really even compete for the same guy anyway, because a man who would go for the typical or traditional Asian woman would never go for me, and vice versa. Um, when I was younger, I competed more, which is what kind of um, let me know where I fell in the total on the totem pole for how women are judged by both other girls and boys. Uh, but now it's interesting because like Ruby said, I have to agree with Ruby. I compete or I will compete for guys who could possibly be checking for me or women like me. You know what I'm saying? So if they checking for a woman that I could probably fit that bill, yeah, I compete. I don't got no problem competing because um typically, especially now, when I step into the ring, I'm gonna shut it down anyway. Despite some of the stuff I say, I actually have quite a bit of confidence in who I can attract and who I can pull. So, especially since I'm not really relying on a whole lot of superficial things to do it. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that I'm pulling a guy with doesn't really, he not gonna wake up in the morning and it's different. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's catching my drift. But if he's
Hmm.
only liking white girls, it's like Ruby said, I can't be white, so me and him, you know, chuck the deuces and I'm moving to the left. I mean, what am I doing? I don't believe in just competing for people for the hell of it, whether they would be interested in you or not. And then especially if you're gonna put some type of emotion behind it, because if they don't want you, what you gonna be? Hurt? Yeah, your feelings hurt. Just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to get everybody anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't pull every dude, but I can pull some dudes. You know what I'm saying?
I
Um,
realize I'm like the only person that didn't even touch competing in regards to love. I think I missed that part of
that's the
the
but
question. I'm
see
like, damn.
that's almost the only way that I am gonna compete with another woman because if we're talking about other stuff, like maybe competing for other goals outside of romance, or competing at the job. I'm not. If we're competing at the job, I'm not just competing with women. I'm
Now,
competing with
see,
everybody at the job. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Kendra, I'm the
Mhm.
opposite. I would actually compete for you more in like sports or scholastics or work than I would over a man.
Mm.
Like I don't
Mm.
compete with women over men. That's just not something I've ever really been about. You know what I mean? I just never.
Mhm.
They've competed with me and pulled me into bullshit over men, but I've never went like forged ahead. It's just never been my style. I'm kind of more passive as it pertains to love. I'm never gonna ever be the girl that would have proposed to a guy. That shit would have never even crossed my mind. You
Well,
know, I'm
see
just
now,
that type. But when it comes to like
yeah.
work and running, all that, oh, I'm competitive as hell.
Now
Now I
see,
have
Mhm.
spitefully competed with a girl because I just wanted to get under her skin and I didn't give a fuck about him.
now see, my competition doesn't look like competition.
Mhm.
I'm just going to
Mhm.
shoot my shot at the
Right.
dude. He either
Mm-hmm.
gonna go for that shot or he not. I'm not gonna scrap with this girl verbally. I'm not gonna
Mm.
trade barbs with her. I'm not gonna try to one up her on, can I get your attention more than her? Nah, I don't need all of that. I don't need all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm too mature for it. When I was younger, I couldn't compete physically for it because we was teenagers and boys are gonna be superficial. She looked better than me, she won. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It didn't matter who you were or what you were doing. So but as far as competing in other arenas, you know, it's difficult for me because if we were talking something, let's just say random sports. Well,
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, I was always athletic as hell, so I'm gonna beat you there.
Oh, well, god damn
Um,
it, Kendra. You ain't gotta tell everybody.
if we're talking about academia, if we're talking about academia, when I was going to school, that wasn't that much of a competition.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? It was like when cuz I wasn't worried about what the next person was doing. If I'm going to go into the lecture hall, I already know I got class sold up. All I have to do is listen. I'm going to pick it up. I may
Mhm.
struggle a little bit depending on the subject matter, but I'm going to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? And then my outlook on stuff was just different anyway. My value system was just different. So, you know what I'm saying? It didn't bother me what other people were doing. It didn't bother me, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, what other people was on. If you wasn't on what I was on, that was cool. I ain't got to be mad at you. Just don't come for me. You're going to
Mhm.
get something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what though, Kendra?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like I think I was always more like on that tip. Like I felt like I was competing
Mm.
against myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be 150% better. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I didn't feel I didn't want to beat that girl over there or that guy over there. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be the best, but it wasn't necessarily to be in competition. But then, when I think about a lot of the things that I was in, it wasn't solely female only groups. So they
Mm-hmm.
were mixed, male female
Right.
groups and mixed race groups. And in that case, like if it was like a position I wanted, let's say I wanted first chair in band. Well, yeah, I'm competitive as hell. I want to win. Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it wasn't necessarily like a girl on girl thing or whatever. It was a skill by skill thing. I wanted my skills to beat your skills. I wanted, in this thing, I wanted my essay to beat your essay. I wanted my score to
Mm-hmm.
beat your score. But it wasn't personal like that. Like it wasn't me trying to compete one on one. It was more like I got to better myself. I got to be the best. I'm not trying to beat her score by one. I'm trying to get perfect plus the all the bonus points or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's how I thought. Like that's how I thought of education, and all of that. When you know, getting on honor rolls and coming through with a 3.6 GPA and a four, like I was competing myself why I can't get a four. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like
Right.
if
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, I graduated number three out of grammar school and I was mad because I didn't graduate valedictorian. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I was
Hmm.
mad at me for that because
Mhm.
there was no reason why it should not have been. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was looking for colleges, I had a lot of naysayers, look, close people to me that was, you can't, you need to try to get into a junior or community college. I'm like, fuck that. And then you can't get admitted here and admitted there. And I came through with the UIC admission letter. Then I went and killed the placement exam. They told me I didn't have to take no math ever unless
Mm.
my major uh whatever
Required it.
major I picked
Mm-hmm.
required it. But other than that,
Good for
I
you.
was not required to take certain, you know what I'm saying? Because I went in and crushed it. So
Mm-hmm.
like, don't doubt me. You like haters make me better. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
tell me you doubt. You know what I'm saying? The skill set, because I'm gonna show you something.
Uh, well, let me ask you ladies this. I know y'all are on media, right? And you hear the talk, and brothers, voice their opinions about black women versus Hispanic women versus white women versus Asian women. They are known to say that certain racial groups of women are more feminine than black women. They're more submissive than black women. They treat a man better. Do you ladies believe that there is validity to that?
I'm gonna go first on that one, if I may. It's some validity to it. Other groups of women culturally are taught different things than what Black American women are culturally taught
Mm-hmm.
as far as femininity and womanhood are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
These things that other groups of women are taught may be more desirable um, for men in general than what Black women are taught and what we display as a form of femininity or lack thereof. I talk about Black women and our lack of femininity as a whole. I've been, us up here considered unicorns, and I speak for myself being considered a unicorn. I'm not very super feminine. I don't consider myself super feminine or super submissive or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a result of me growing up where I grew up, how I grew up, the culture that was passed down to me, and what I made of that. Um, so yeah, it's some validity to it. If you looking for a super quiet, meek, she ain't got no hardness to her. I might make a video out of that. She ain't got no toughness to her. Then you got to get a woman that come from an environment where she wasn't required to be tough, and then
Right.
you'll get her. You know what I'm saying? You'll get that woman.
Mhm.
Um, we as Black women, and I'm not even talking about the ratchets. I'm talking about women like us. We the Black women who grew up how we grew up, where we grew up. We have a layer of toughness. We are like the cacti that grow in the desert. We useful. We contain water. Um, we have all of this. We are resource where we are, but we come with spines. We come with this tough exterior, but if it rains on us, we'll bloom beautiful flowers. You see what I'm saying? But we not gonna not have those spines. It's not gonna not have that toughness because the way I grew up demanded that I have it. And now that I'm grown, I'm not gonna be ashamed that I have it. It's just that I don't have to wield it as a destructive force. You know what I'm saying? I choose what to
Mhm.
do with that. I do have the
Mm-hmm.
tough exterior. I do have the shell. I do. But then I grew up
Mm-hmm.
in tough terrain. Things that grow up in tough terrain are tough, and
Yep.
things that grow up in soft terrain are soft.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna re examine the question because Kendra just went over it beautifully. I'm just gonna build on that and just talk about femininity or this whole conversation or the phrasing of the question that was brought forth. I feel like it's been, overused, misused, misinterpreted, discussed wrongfully. I feel like it's just been beaten like a dead horse. I feel that femininity, there are some that without a doubt we'll all agree on what those characteristics look like. Some of it we couldn't not have them even if we tried. It's just who we are, what we were built with. The same way men, they're still, no matter how feminine they try to act, no matter how much they shave their Adam's apple and try to be a woman, there's still a edge that you have that you can't lose. Now, after that's done and said and can't be disputed and argued, now we get into subjective territory on what femininity looks like. That's when Kendra's talking about the toughness and things like that. Now, if your scoring board on what femininity is and what it means to you, because you don't really quite understand the definition, yes, you're going to sit up here and grade us all unfairly and have an opinion that you think is fact, when in fact it's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now you're judging my character traits. Now you're talking about my strength or my usefulness as a woman. We're not no longer talking femininity and the batting of my eyelashes and how long my fingernails are. You're attacking my character as a black woman when you try to have this uh, transparent ass conversation
Mm-hmm.
using numbers for something you really can't quantify.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's all I'm gonna add to the bill.
And you know what? Like that kind of fits perfectly with what I was going to say, Ming, because I think the problem is that we have a warped sense of what both femininity and submission actually mean, and we define it based on white women or Asian women or some other culture, some other people, and we also base femininity and what we think feminine is based on physical characteristics that you're either born with or not. So we, for example, think that feminine and femininity has to do with frailty. You have your little frail musculature and your little
Exactly.
frail bone structure. So you walk around and you're frail and you're weak and you're and batting the eyelashes and all that foolishness. And that's what we think is the height of femininity. So any woman who doesn't do that and who doesn't adhere to that isn't feminine. And the thing is that culturally across the globe, but also physically across the globe, we aren't built to be frail. We're not frail looking women. We don't have frail musculature. And so we're not going to have frail movements. That is not the definition that you would give us physically as to what our feminine is. You've got to measure our feminine in comparison to our black men's masculine. And you look at a black man's masculine and it is so much more powerful and so much more dominant and so much more all encompassing than say a white man's masculine is. And so you're comparing, we try to sit there and say, well, yeah, black man, okay, masculine, okay, I get that. And then but black women, well, we should be comparing ourselves to white women. That doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, when you look at just from the physical, we are built feminine in comparison to our male counterparts. Now, with that being said, when I look at what submission means, according to Black women, when you look at Black women, submission on us looks very different. It is not about us sitting there and holding our tongue and bowing our heads and, oh, whatever he says is right, it's okay, I can't. No, because you know what? We were built to support our men. We were built to encourage our men. We were built to be voices next to our men and, to have that strength in us to hold up our men when they need us. So, from that perspective, then us submitting is not us bowing our heads and shuffling into a kitchen and whatever he says, even if we hear it sounds wrong and it's going to lead him down a path of destruction, well, we just shut up because that's not submission. And that's certainly not submission culture, and certainly not something that's going to help us overall. So we need to stop measuring ourselves in comparison to other groups. Now, if I measure us in comparison to our group, our women, as far as what I deem to be submission, our women are amazing at submitting. But the thing is that we submit to men. to real men, to fully formed men. We don't submit to little boys, and we don't submit to demands of, well, you better submit to me. No. But the women within us, what we crave is for a man to assert his dominance. And asserting your dominance isn't a demand. It's not a verbal attack. It's not a yelling at me. It's none of that. He just will. And we crave that. And when we get that, we submit. So I will say, at the end of the day, maybe it takes a more fully formed man. Maybe it takes stronger masculine. You know what I mean? And maybe it takes more understanding of where we've been, what we've been through, how we were raised, the things that we've had to literally shoulder and bear, for us to be in that position. But, I've seen amazing things happen when a woman finds that man. I've seen amazing things happen. And that hardness and that edge and that, that stoniness she gets to her whole entire being relaxes. And then you see it. You see the softness and you see the tenderness. And does it look like the way the Asian woman does it? No, of course not. But when you see it happen, it's really a thing of both strength and beauty at the same time. It's kind of like, we talked a lot about Wakanda and we kind of dropped it. But you look at those women, you can look at the warrior women, and those
And the
women
Dora
are
Milaje.
feminine. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they displayed that femininity and that submission, and yet they're warriors. So that goes to show you what our feminine and our submission looks like.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with the other women on the panel. I think the reason why some people, I guess, don't see as like, I do think that there is some validity to the statements, but at the same time, um, I don't know, just in the Black community, a lot of things are different. So, Black women, we're kind of a little bit more aggressive because we're kind of there to be, we have to be like more supportive, I guess. So, I don't know. I think there is some validity, but at the same time, we're kind of, we kind of have to be different.
I'm gonna say something about that as well. Um, when you have women like us, and then we have that toughness to us, one thing we have to remember about us as Black people here in America is that whether we want to believe it or not, we are at war.
Mm-hmm.
And the women can't afford to be these wilting flowers. I'm a nerd, so bear with me because I'm gonna make a nerd reference. Um, Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite trilogies. In I think it might have been the second one. Aragorn asks one of the ladies of the kingdom, Rohan. He asks her because she was swinging a sword, she was practicing. And he was like, I didn't know you practiced the sword, basically. And she said, our women learned long ago that those without swords in their hands could still die upon them. And that's where we are. We, other women in other cultures don't have the same challenges. So they have developed differently. I'm not gonna say they develop worse or better. They develop differently, and that's fine. And if a man is looking for that difference and what they bring to the table, if he has to go and find that kind of woman and that's the type of woman he need, I'm you know what I'm saying, he can do more power to him. If he like it, I love it. But who we are, we can't I could not have afforded to be. There was nothing in my personal childhood that happened to me that would have produced a woman that didn't have an edge and a tough shell on her. Nothing. There was nothing that happened in my childhood that could have produced that woman.
Mhm.
It just wasn't going to happen. And my story is not unique, especially Gen Xers, especially if your parents was on crack, especially if you was poor, especially if you ain't had nothing to eat, especially if you had to do what you had to do to get to survive. There was nothing that was gonna produce a woman that was afraid to open her mouth.
Hmm.
There was nothing that happened that was gonna produce that female. So we're living in an environment that simply does not produce that female. Now, there's not to say that there aren't any black women who are that way as individuals, but if we're talking about on the whole and how our environments are and how we grow up and the stuff that we're taught to do or taught not to do, it's not going to produce that kind of woman. It's just not.
Well, let's get away from the tough, black woman with the hard exterior. Let's get into the old feminine stuff. Now, in America, we most of us, okay, me personally, I don't, but I know a lot of us do. We have a tendency to subscribe to the Caucasian standard of what looks good, what doesn't look good, uh, what's feminine, what's not, um, to the point where actually what's masculine and what's not, if you want to go that far. And oftentimes, I believe that many of our women, and I hate it, they have a tendency to themselves subscribe to that white woman standard of beauty, whatever that standard may be, whether it be how you wear your hair, uh, the way you dress, what you look like, the type of makeup you wear, whether or not you wear contact lenses, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know about that stuff better than me. So, do you ladies think that many, I know not all, I mean, we shouldn't have to say that, but do you believe that many of our women within the black collective have subscribed to that white standard of beauty, and do you ladies subscribe to it at all?
I think that a lot of them have, because the thing with women is that a lot of women are trying to get, like, I guess, the top tier guys. And of course, like, in a dominant society, white men, like, establish the standard of beauty. So you do have a lot of black women who kind of do the whole subscribe to the whole blonde hair, blue eyed thing to, I guess, seem more attractive to white guys, even though it looks rather ridiculous. I think, and because, like, a lot of American black people kind of get brainwashed with the whole, I guess, a lot of the stuff in the media, like, we're the biggest consumers of media. It's kind of unavoidable to a certain extent. Some people are affected by it way worse than others, but I do think that there are a lot of women who subscribe to the white standard of beauty simply out of survival. And they think it'll help them survive or get them a higher class man, even though it's been proven a lot of times not to be true. I mean, that's the reason why you have, like, this whole colorism argument by certain women. It's the reason why you have the whole good hair versus bad hair argument with certain women and stuff. So I do think that it affects the black community and black women specifically. Um, so that's my take on that.
Me personally, I don't subscribe to it. I mean, I have dreadlocks, for goodness sake. Nothing says nonconformist more than dreadlocks.
Yeah, I have
So
some
no.
too. I have those too.
So not in the least. And my personal facial features wouldn't allow it, these big lips and broad nose and my hips and butt, that even if I wanted to, I couldn't. The question then becomes, do I want to? Do I feel bad about that? Hell no. Ain't nothing no other race of women have that I would even want to borrow and give back the next day at all. Nothing, not at all. But yes, as a group collective, absolutely. There, even more so than since I've been on this earth 39 years. I mean, look at Instagram. Everybody has a weave, no matter how tacky it is. As long as it's straight, they putting the shit on their head. They don't really give a shit, you know. They really don't care. Absolutely, they are. Why? I don't. I at this point, it's such a hodgepodge of reasons why they're doing it. It's like sheep being led to a slaughter. I don't even think they know why they're doing it. I don't even think they're emulating a non-black woman culturally appropriate black culture. Ain't that the most backward shit ever?
Absolutely.
They're emulating men being
Yeah.
women. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. I honestly think it's a little bit more to do with them trying to be what they deem as rich based off of what celebrities are doing. Them the first sheep that got led to the slaughter, and they bring the rest of the idiots with them. I don't even know if they know who they comparing themselves to at this point, because everybody is just seriously everybody living in stereo.
Yeah.
Nobody's down to earth and real. So.
And I have to, yeah, as a whole, black women are subverted under this myth of white womanhood and the myth of her beauty as well. It's something that we actually have to consciously shake off. If we just didn't grow up in a household that didn't conform to it in the first place, you actually have to consciously think about it and then leave it alone. Um, because when I was growing up and a teenager and all that, I had all kind of, weaves or this or that. When you're young and you're looking at that damn TV, there ain't nothing on it but white folk. And all the white women are so-called portrayed as these beautiful women that everybody wants. And how women get subverted to that. I'm gonna tell you how women get subverted to that. Because women like male attention. We just like male attention. Now, how we carry that out determines what kind of woman we are, or what kind of woman we are determines how we carry that out. Because some are thirsty, some are just kind of hoish, some don't know how to garner male attention, so they do anything it's negative, and some will do positive things in order to get the correct form of male attention, or the male attention they actually want. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I think a lot of women, if they said they walk into a room and didn't care if none of the men noticed them, would be being a little disingenuous about that. Even if they didn't want those guys, you kind of always want to be able, especially depending on what setting it is. You know what I'm saying? I walk into a room, I want to have somebody look up from what they doing. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So that's actually used against us, because women actually like male attention, and we would like to do things that could ensure that at least some percentage of men would actually give us some attention so that we could be with them. That's actually used against us by telling us, well, the only way that you can actually get this attention is if you look like this. Well, that presents a big problem for women who don't look like that and can't look like that. By that, I mean look white with this straight hair. And I don't know who wants them little slim little hips. I don't know who want them. But the body type go along with that, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever is portrayed as supposedly beautiful. They put these celebrities up there, they're stick thin, they're blonde, a lot of them not even naturally blonde, you know what I'm saying? And they're blonde, and they have these blue eyes, which is recessive, and all of this kind of stuff, and it's put in front of your face as a young girl. that this is the beauty that you should be aspiring to. And it takes actually waking up out of that to understand that her European beauty has nothing to do with me. My beauty is my own. And it is not any less than anyone else's. As a matter of fact, compared to some, it's quite a bit better. So, you know what I'm saying? At 17, I cut all of it off my head. Haven't gone back to, wearing wigs or whatever the hell it was. And you know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly fine with my faux Zulu hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly fine with it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I had dreads for a while. I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have my skin any other way, especially not trying to be whiter or bleach it or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? You got white women around here trying to look like us.
Okay, I'm around here trying to tan. Ain't no.
Right. Bitches running around here,
Mm-mm.
like I said in that
Hmm.
other video, looking like whole wisdom teeth. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? With
Yes,
these little
well,
fake hips and fake ass, and then like Ming said, you got black bitches trying to look like that bitch,
Mm-mm.
but she was trying to look like you, and you went and got your ass done. What
Right.
you do that
It's
for?
I
When
can't
you could have
understand
feel
it.
like
did some
Nicki
squat.
Minaj and Black
Yeah,
China.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All you had to do was 50 reps of some squats, and then boom, you'd have had an ass in a month. Girl, bye.
That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Oh shit. Um. Well, did the Lady Classic answer this one? Did you answer this one, Lady Classic?
No, I did not. Would you
Okay.
mind repeating the question for me, please?
No, I was saying that it's often been said that you know black folks, particularly black women, they subscribe to the white woman standard
Right.
of beauty. Do you believe that, and do you subscribe to that?
Okay. Well, I subscribe to the standard of beauty that is basically, this is going to sound so conceited, and I understand and vain as fuck, but that's how I was born and raised. So I come from a very conceited, vain family on both sides. So basically, my mother kind of taught me that she was the standard of beauty. And so therefore, since I look just like her, I was just light skinned, that I was a standard of beauty. And so anything that was beautiful, it was kind of measured as far as, well, how much does it look like you? The further away from you it is, the less beautiful it could possibly be. So for me, white people just naturally what they have is just, it's just literally the opposite of me. And I understand that when you look at my features, you might be like, oh, well, I've got the narrow nose, or I've got this oval face, or whatever. But it's a lot more than that. There's just something in black folk. When I look at them, I see them being closer to me. I recognize them. When I look at white people, I don't. So from that perspective, when I look at white people, there's nothing. I look at them and I go, man, I wish I could have this or that. Now I know when I was a kid growing up, the thing that everybody wanted, it seemed like, was straight hair. um, I didn't want straight hair. I wanted, I think this is a derogatory term, but I don't know the politically correct term now or whatever. But I wanted coolie people's hair, like that wavy, just exactly like the weave I used to have, that wavy kind of wavy curly hair. That's what I wanted. And so, yeah, I wanted not my hair. But that being said, if my hair had been the way it is now, where it's manageable. Like I literally can put conditioner in it, just to give it a pre-moisture, go into a shower and almost like comb through it almost immediately, and it just works. I wouldn't have hated my hair. I hated my hair because it was torture. It was torture doing my hair. That weekly thing, my mom had to like vice grip me between her legs to comb through my hair. Like it wasn't about wanting, thinking that some other culture's hair was better. It was about the fact that my hair was torture. Now my mom told me I had the most beautiful hair in the world, because remember, I am the standard of beauty. But that being said, as so in my head, good hair was thick and coarse and 4C and all those things. I just still thought it was torture. It was horrific trying to deal with it. I didn't want to do it. Um, so, I think on a lot of levels, it's probably why I do say that while there are certainly a lot of women who are getting the weaves and whatever to try to idealize whiteness, obviously, since that's what's sold to us here in North America, I do think that there are many who go for the perms and the weaves and whatever, literally, because it's such a relief. It's a relief to not have to go through hell and back. And you could just run a comb through your hair. Oh my God, I ran a comb through my hair. It's great. Oh, look, I got this weave stuff. Oh, look, now my hair is long. I've been trying to grow my hair forever. And so, there's an additional aspect to it where again, I think that if we utilize what we know now from this natural hair care movement and everything, it'll be very different for the younger generations growing up. But I do think that, if anything, as much as we really focus on the beauty aspects of it, I do think that there's a large majority of it that is more of the subconscious messages that women are getting, which is, when they have their natural hair out, you can look at the way people look at you and talk to you and treat you and how seriously they take you and et cetera, and look at your peers and, the ones who seem to be moving up or making more money or getting, those special places or whatever. They seem to be the ones who always have that weave in their hair, who do conform to the this and the that and whatever. And, I know myself personally having, gotten rid of the weave and, now only doing natural styles and whatever, the way that I'm treated is different. The way that I'm looked at is different. And this is just across the board, even, not just in Canada, but in America, I'm literally being looked at and treated differently. People who I'm related to or are, close family friends, they'll say things like, this is the blackest you've ever looked. And they love it. Um, but that being said, them saying that, it also lets me know what the outside world is seeing. And so without the weave and whatever, they're looking at me and they're seeing a black woman instead of seeing maybe a biracial woman or maybe I'm not really sure where she's from woman. They know I'm black. And you're treated differently as a result. So I do think that there's, the very conscious messages that, our women are getting, telling them that, whiteness, standard of beauty, blah, blah, you got to subscribe to that. But I do think there are also the subconscious messages that women are getting that are telling them basically, if you want to be taken seriously, if you want to be thought of as beautiful, if you want to be able to, get that extra leg up, you got to conform. And who are you conforming to? Well, that's the majority. And who's the majority? It's not you. So I do think that there is a lot more to it than just beauty standards going on. But yeah, definitely you see it everywhere. It's not something I personally I subscribe to, but that being said, I mean, it's clear as day.
Well, let me throw a potluck question at y'all because I've always wanted to know the answer to this. Maybe you ladies can help me out. Y'all know I live in the South, right? And where I live at, where I live at now, it's mostly white people. It's like 60% white people. It's a lot more of them than it is us where I'm at now. And what I see a lot more now before, because when I lived on the other side of town, it was just the opposite. It's more like 60% black folks. Now I'm over here 60% white folks. So I see a few, not a lot. I see a few black women with white dudes, right? And the thing about these black women who go with these white dudes, and I've always wanted to know this, and I'm gonna ask you ladies, why is it that when they're with the white man, they have this they have a different thing about them? I don't want to say they act white, but they pick up this Valley Girl accent, if you will, even though they're from New Jersey. They move different. They lose the weave and the wigs and all this kind of bullshit. So let me ask you, ladies, because you're women, you probably know more about this than I do. Why Why do they do it? What do you
My
ladies think is
my
behind
guess
that?
My guess would be it's a requirement to be accepted in the circle. That as they
Hmm.
want to date in, they have to flip a switch in order to not be perceived as everybody else that they're trying to distance themselves from. If that means participating in jokes or just being quiet while jokes are being said, taking the twang out your speech so that they can't really tell where you're from, or more importantly, not from, changing your dress and your opinions of things in order to be accepted. And then I think that the white person, for the sake of argument, is slowly chipping at the veneer too, saying little things, dropping hints, making you the butt of the jokes, but it's supposed to be all in fun. And your low self-esteem, he's a predator and you're the prey. He was able to suss it out in you, and that's what I think personally.
I'd agree with Ming. The only thing that I don't really understand is when like what Brother X pointed out, when some black women start dating white guys, I've noticed a lot of them are natural, and I never got that because I would imagine that they would try to look more like a white chick trying to get with a white dude, but
It adds to the
that's
slave
just me.
fantasy. It adds to them calling
Oh,
you a
okay.
nigger or something in bed, or them wanting to pull on your hair. It adds to. I'm sure in some old white boys club, there's probably a notch on
Yeah,
his
some
belt if you
weirdo
could pat,
shit.
bag you an authentic nigger bitch. Some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
I
Yeah, that's
wonder.
Mhm.
I
crazy.
just wonder.
Well,
I
you
just
know what?
wonder. Do they feel the love when they say "I love you, negress"?
Oh god.
That's
I
terrible.
saw a picture one time of a chick who she had it painted across her chest that I, I don't know if she liked being called a nigger by her white boyfriend or something, like she got off on that. I'm all like, yeah, you on some weirdo shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, obviously, I do think that it is very different. Dating, I mean, I think it's weird. I always think it's weird when I see black women with white men. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I do think it's different dating a white man. Like, I think if you are a black American and you are dating a white American, I don't understand that at all on any level. So I do think it's different if you're dating a white person from, I don't know, Italy or something. Not that I'm saying it makes it like better. I'm just saying I think it's different. But I do want to add to the conversation. I don't want to take anything away from it because I agree with all the other points. But I will say this, that the thing is if you are dating someone who speaks very differently than you, as far as your culture, as far as the way that you're used to speaking and whatever, you are gonna change your language necessarily so that way, it's easier to be understood when you communicate, especially if your circles have changed now. So you go and you join their friend groups, well, you're gonna want to be understood by their friends. And I'm saying this as, a black woman who came from, sounding like the original Black Valley girl, and, start to date a guy who's from the hood. All his friends use really heavy slang. He uses really heavy slang, and I don't understand them, but they don't understand me. So I did have to try to change my language slightly and, kind of learn a little bit of theirs, so that way we could meet somewhere in the middle, because we were not able to understand each other unless we wrote to each other. Um, so I will say that. And I will say also, when it comes to the natural hair, another thing is, which is really terrible if you think about it, is that within our communities, things like fake hair and weave and braids and whatever are so normalized, that it's totally normal. You never touch a black girl's hair. You're going to feel tracks under there, and she sheds all over the place. All these things are normal. But to a white man, none of that stuff is normal. So you know what I mean? It also adds to that when he says, well, I like your natural hair and whatever, you're already embarrassed as it is about this foolishness you've got going on in your hair, and the mess you're gonna leave in your wake everywhere and whatever. Because to him, this is not normal. You do not put plastic or some other chick's hair in your head, and keep your hair braided underneath it for 6 to 8 weeks and blah 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 blah. So I think it makes it easier for them to just actually say, well, I'm going to be natural. And you know what? The thing is that their natural hair is now not being judged on a standard of, from a black person's perspective. It's being judged on a white person's perspective, which is, your natural hair is your natural hair. And I like it if it's frizzy, if it's dry, if it's breaking off, I don't care. Because, like, you said, well, it could add to that whole, well, I want a black woman. So if I'm dating a black woman, I want her to be real black. So I think that there's a whole bunch of, it's a lot more complicated than it looks like on the surface. I don't think ultimately the majority of those relationships though work out too well. And I think it's again because of all of those factors. Like, at what point do you see, um, you know, these 20-year long, 30-year long relationships, between these men and these women, where the woman changed radically? All of a sudden, now she's wearing her natural hair, and now she's speaking differently, now she's doing whatever. She wasn't socialized in that community already, she tried to change. How long can that last? You're being something that you don't understand because you think it's better than you.
Okay, so is the question, why do black women act differently in relationships with white men versus black men?
Yep.
Hmm. Two reasons. A, she's submitting to him and not to y'all. B, black men have to make a harder standard for what they will and won't actually accept out of their women. Black men don't have that tough of a standard. It's pretty flexible, you know, not really all that tough, but so that's those are the two main reasons I believe. Now there are other factors. Proximity. What if she was just raised around a bunch of white dudes and she's culturally white? So she gonna do what white women do because she was raised around white people. Maybe even she was raised by white people. So she's not culturally black. She's just physically black. So she's learned how to and is attracted to white men. And she's learned how to be around white men and what white men like and don't like in general. So there are cases like that, you know what I'm saying? So individually, yeah, you got just different people who grew up in different places who just do different stuff. But if we talking about swirlers are just submitting to white men as opposed to submitting to black men because in their estimation, black men don't have anything to submit to, and white men apparently do have something to submit to. So they will act differently around white men because they know white men not gonna put up with certain types of bullshit. Okay, like Ruby was just saying, all that weave and all that this, that, and the third. A certain kind of white man, not he don't want to deal with that shit. You know. Now, if you get a little trailer trash to white boy, he might not care. But if you call yourself shooting your shot for a so-called higher echelon white man, then he don't want that because he with a black woman to be with a black woman supposedly, and not to be with a black woman that's trying to look like a white woman. And so I'm gonna keep it short. That's pretty much what I think it is.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
I agree. Um, I see, being a black man myself, I've seen a few, like I said, I've seen a few black women with white men out here where I live at, and all of them act the same. I mean, there's no even distinguishing those black women. They all act the same. I mean, if you've seen one black woman with a white man where I'm at down here in the South, you've seen them all. I mean, they have the same accent, they move the same, they act the same. Excuse me. They move the same, they have the same accent, they act the same, and all of them have that they kind of have that timid, let the man walk 2 paces in front of them thing kind of shit going on. That all of them, all the ones I've seen. Maybe I just have a limited scope of shit that I've seen, but that's what I've seen. But this is what gets me about our women, about black women. You would think that if they wanted to aspire to something, now I don't think they should be aspiring to any standard of beauty besides their own. But if they were going to do it, if they felt the need to do it, you would think they would be aspiring to a standard of beauty that was closer to theirs. They would be aspiring to, someone who has a closer skin shade to them, a closer hair quality to them. I mean, you would think that they wouldn't be going for the exact opposite. I mean, there's so many different races and ethnic groups, okay, on this planet, in this country. But let's face it, the biggest dynamic is usually between black folks and white folks, right? So for our women to aspire to that always puzzled me, because if you're aspiring to be like the people who have shown us that they don't even want us to be a part of anything in this country, for you to aspire to that, I think that is the true sellout. We always talk about, oh, he's a sellout, he's a sellout. I think that is the true sellout. When you're a black ass woman and you walking down the road with blonde hair and fucking blue contacts, you done sold the hell out. Okay, you done sold the hell out. If you doing that, you done sold the hell out. And you see quite a few of those too. But see, those women are the women who will tell you that they do that because that's what black men like. That's what they say. Oh, that's what y'all like. Y'all like, us to look like the white girls, and also kind of nonsense, which is bullshit. Because if you ask the average black man, he would prefer that y'all be natural, wear your own hair, get rid of them damn blue contacts, quit shaving your damn eyebrows off and writing them back on fucking marker. We would say that shit. We wouldn't say, oh, throw on the blonde wig, throw on the blue contacts, put on the fake eyelashes that go all the way out to here. We just wouldn't say it. We just wouldn't. So that I just think is total bullshit. I think there's a degree of self-loathing behind that, and that's probably for a different segment, but I think there's some degree of self-loathing about that when you want to totally change what you look like, not physically. You're not just trying to change what you look like physically. You're trying to change what you are culturally when you do that shit. That's just my take on it. Especially if you're throwing on the goddamn blonde wig and the blue eyes and all some kind of bullshit. You're trying to change yourself culturally, at least to the naked eye, okay? Which leads me to believe that something's going on upstairs. Yeah, something's going on up there, up in the old attic. But you ladies, right? All of you black women, right? All of you. Do you think that, well, let me ask you this. If, say, you have a son or a brother or a cousin, like Lady Ming has sons, right? And you happen to be in an area where black people are, but the black women that are available are trash. They hoes, they Jezebels, they skeezers, they chicken heads, all of them. So would you, ladies, advise your son, your brother, your cousin, would you advise him to be with a different race if something wasn't available, that was black? And if you would, what would it be?
No. And if I'm doing my job correctly, the thought won't even cross their head to even look in that direction. So really, it's not even going to be a discussion.
Well, with my brother, he's already had one white girlfriend, although he mostly dates black girls. But I'm gonna be honest, I'd tell him to go with whatever makes him happy. And the only reason why I say that is because, um, considering how my mom kind of went the non-black route after my dad, I'm just
Hmm.
like, I can't really be hypocritical with my brother. You know what I mean? Um, Personally speaking, like I wouldn't do anything like that, but you know, I'm just like I kind of I'd be torn during these types of conversations because it's kind of difficult. Because my mom will say stuff, but at the same time he'll be like, well, you know, you dated out too, so I can't
Hmm.
really be hypocritical. Like he has a point. That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand that, Cass, because I used to feel that way for a while, considering that my great grandfather is white. Like, how can I be mad at white folks when a percentage of my blood is flowing from that direction? But then I thought about it and said, that is neither here nor fucking there. You know, I'm trying to start a new tomorrow, not live in the past today. And in order to do so, I have to be able to say, yep, mistakes was bad. It's cool. But guess what? We're not making no more mistakes moving forward. You know what I mean? Because I used to feel so conflicted,
Mm-hmm.
like I was almost being hypocritical and betraying a piece of my heritage and blood, because it's legit a piece of my heritage and blood. But I could say with full confidence what I would do, because me and my stepdaughter was just having this conversation the other day. She's 14 and talked about dating. She like Asian boys. She can put us on this group called BTS and stuff, and their music actually pretty good. They South Korean and all that. My son's like it. It's colorful. It's positive. But I told her, you know, her mom is in agreement too. She told me, her mom told her, you can date Asian boys all you want to, but you better not marry one. And my take is 100% don't even do that. And I kind of sat down and started talking about what it means to be black first and a woman second, and make those decisions in that order, especially when it comes down to the matters of the heart, because we have a job to do that is above just what we're trying to do with our carnal desires. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
did. I sat down and I had that conversation with her unapologetically too, because I believe that, like, we dying off, we're getting diluted out, and that's all part of the master plan. I believe truthfully in my soul that my blood is royal and it means something to me. I'll have to find out in my next life whether that's true or not, but that's just what I believe.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's just my
you
take on
know,
it. That was some
I
advice.
agree. I agree
Okay.
with Ming.
Thank you.
Um, and I'm gonna say I agree with Ming, and I could say I have very complicated. My sister's half white. On one side of my family, the same side my sister's on, literally I am the only cousin that has two black parents. And I'm the eldest, and all of them, including my sister, have a white parent. My mother has dated white men between like my dad, then her every fiance, then she was engaged, and then she actually got married again, and all of the people she took really seriously, I noticed like that, were black men. But my mom dated white guys and whatever, and obviously the other side of my family, they are always with a white person. My aunt always with white men. I've never seen her with a black man. My uncles on that side always with white women. What I can say is this: being a child in that situation, what I found was I was so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable in the side of my family that is all white people. I don't fit in. I feel uncomfortable, and you know what? What I feel though is there's no unity in the family. On the other side of my family, everyone's just as messed up. You got my grandmother, who's a terrible person. So you don't even have like a good matriarch in the family, per se. And, they're all messed up. And yet, you know what? When we get together, you feel a sense of home. And that's something you cannot get with someone who doesn't share your culture. And it's not just about skin tone, right? Like at the end of the day, When, and this is where, like, honestly, and I apologize to any Africans who are listening, but I separate Africans from the rest of us, because even if our foods are differ slightly from, the island and island to island, and then from island to, Black Americans or whatever, the underlying tone and theme and whatever is the same. You know what I mean? We can all get each other in a way that I don't care. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, other cultures cannot understand our culture. Now, with that being said, if you're going to date out, you should date someone who has a culture, because at least they understand the concept of culture, not being culture vultures, not being culture leeches. But to me, what it comes down to is, you're not being hypocritical to say, listen, I don't think this is a good plan, and I don't think it's one that you should set out to have. Because you ultimately will always be lacking something, in that relationship that you have with, um, like, I mean, again, you have these children who will say be half black, half white. Well, there's no one in their family who looks like them, who is them, who can relate to them, not completely. It's just there's so many little tiny factors no one really thinks about, as far as what makes up a family. And I think at the end of the day, having a whole bunch of people in your family who are dating out and marrying out and having children out, it creates that dissonance within families. And it brings us further and further apart. At a time where we need to find more and more in common, we are literally doing more and more so that way we have less and less in common. I don't think it really works. I think it looks really, really odd and awkward. I love my baby sister to death, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you know, there's going to be always this fundamental difference between the two of us, whereas I'm black and she's not. And I mean, she's not. She phenotypically, the world treats her like she's white, from a cultural experience standpoint. She didn't really have a black culture in that way, and whatever she knows is kind of like her sister's culture. So it's one of those things where it seems really complicated. It seems like maybe some people will think it's, oh, medieval times, oh, it's 21st century and whatever. But I can tell you 100% for sure, I really think that, those families that have these, you know, mixed cultures, especially with us, they're lacking something really specific that, families that have two black parents, like, are always going to just naturally have. That's my 2 cents.
I would agree with that because my little brother and sister, I mean, phenotypically they look more black than the other side, but they're being raised more like towards the other. Like when I saw them last week,
Mm,
that yeah, they were having a hard time fitting in with the other black kids.
mm,
That we like when we took them to the park and stuff, and they were doing all the little dances and stuff. Like, you know,
mm-hmm,
they were having a hard time fitting in because they were like wanting to do like more Latin moves and stuff, which like my mom knows that stuff. I know a little bit, like I know some basic stuff, but you know,
mm-hmm. But it's
it ain't.
different, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's very different for
It
them.
it is like, you take little me, right? Again, again, I say, like, the Valley girl and this and that. This is the way I speak. I go to Jamaica, and they look at me, and I'm very, very light in comparison to everyone in Jamaica, and I sound like this. And I can't speak patois, but I can understand it. And there's always that first day or two where people don't know me, and it's they feel like it's an us versus them kind of thing. I don't belong. And then all of a sudden they forget. And then they start saying, "Why don't you speak patois, man? You should be speaking patois. Come on, I hear it in your voice." And they start hearing things that I know aren't there. But that's the thing; it's a culture thing, right? It's a vibe. There's just a thing there where I just get it, and they don't have to explain it to me. And they figure out I don't have a white parent somewhere, and the white I have in my family still comes through Jamaica, so it's still the culture, the Jamaican culture. So it's permeated everywhere in me. So it's something that I mean, sure, can you get by without it? Sure, of course. But like I said, I just think that, you're lacking something fundamental. And as much as, yeah, these kids, I'm sure, are loved, brother and sister, I'm sure they're loved to death and whatever, but they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
lacking something from an identity perspective, that no one can give them back, because there isn't a biracial culture. There isn't a biracial identity that society's built for them. And
Right.
they will never quite fit into Black society, the way, say, you will. You're just part of it. Like, you can't not be part of it. Even people who want to try to, excommunicate themselves, you can't. Too bad. You're here. Like,
Right.
you're
And
stuck.
it's
Sorry,
like
right?
part of that frustration that they have, like a lot of them have with Black people. It's like, because they might want to be seen as one thing or another, but they always, it's like what BGS always talks about with like the mulatto class and stuff back in the day. They always get
Mhm.
kicked back to us, but
Mhm.
like people forget that they are also raised by a different parent. So they might get some stuff that is Black, but then they might get a lot of other stuff that isn't. Because I have
Mhm.
noticed that like a lot of biracial people that I have encountered, it's kind of just like a toss up, because some of them might get more Black stuff, but some of
Mhm.
them will also get more of the other type of stuff, like whatever other culture they're from.
Mhm.
So that's,
I
I
think it
guess
has a
that would
lot
be,
to do with the mother, like, because it's
yeah,
not just about the mother's culture, but also, how much the mother's kind of embracing and living it within her own culture, because that's what she's going to pass down to her kids, right? Because she does the
yeah.
raising and the cultural transmission to her kids.
Yeah, because like with my mom, she I was already taking Spanish classes before we even met our stepdad. But like my mom, she met him at the club taking Latin dancing classes. So she was already on her way, like basically being absorbed by that other culture, because now she knows like Spanish fluently. She knows all the dances. She knows all the different types of dances and stuff. She knows how to cook the food. Like like even once, like the last time I went to go visit her in North Carolina, she fried chicken and made guacamole as a side. I was like,
Really?
I was like,
Oh, okay.
guacamole. I
Sure.
was like, really?
That reminds me of, honestly, of Dominicans, though, because I noticed that Dominicans, so like Black
Uh-huh.
Dominicans, they have that culture, and they'll fry chicken, but they
Oh
they love their
yeah.
avocados, man. They eat a lot of avocado with everything.
Like, let me tell you something, Ruby. One time we went to this festival, and because my mom is so like ingratiated with the stuff,
Mhm.
they actually thought me and my brother, who like our dad is Black, right? So it's my brother that I have the same dad with. They thought we were actually Dominican.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I was like, okay, but I don't look anything like a Dominican, but okay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't place you Dominican. That's
No,
interesting.
I don't know.
Well, let's do this. We talked about Black women appropriating some white attributes and physical accoutrements, if you will. What do you ladies think? What do you ladies think about other groups of women appropriating your stuff? Um, your style of dress, your hairstyles, your lingo, your body language, your whatever. I know white I know white women have a tendency to do it, but I I've seen in my travels that Hispanic women do it more. Especially Puerto Rican and Dominican women. They do a lot of appropriating from you ladies. That's just my experience. So, don't send me a whole bunch of fucking emails. That's
Well,
that's
I said once before, I really don't care about stuff like that. I mean, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so they say. I don't get caught up in trivial things like that. I don't look behind. I only look ahead. So if you behind me taking notes, it's like I'm oblivious. It's water off a duck's back. I expect it. So to me, it's nothing brand new. I mean, people stop me all the time of other cultures and ethnicities to comment on my locks, and I've even had to school a few on how it's even done. Asian woman and a white woman before. I've had to school these Hispanic women because they take care of their biracial grandchild about hair products and stuff. They had me cracking up telling me how they were trying to use the same shampoo and what it did to their hair. I mean, it's all in good nature. I feel personally that people fear what they don't understand. And the only way to stop being feared is to build bridges through communication. And if you want to learn more about me, then why not? I mean, I'm interested in learning more about everybody else. I don't see no harm, no foul personally. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter how many times Kim K get boxer braids, and I'm throwing up air quotes, bitch, they'll never be cornrows. It's like you could never do it. It don't matter. So it doesn't even matter to me. I
Did
couldn't
you
care
did
less.
you throw up the air quotes? Did you throw them
I
up?
did. I surely did. Bitch, call them boxer
Yeah.
braids. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do me. You know this ass to hip to thigh ratio. No matter how many doctors or money you got, you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck how long you don't wash your hair. Your hair will never coil like mine and be able to be in these locks. So for me, I don't even pay attention to that shit. I don't even, it doesn't
Yeah.
even resonate in my spirit that way. So I really don't have anything intellectual to add because I really genuinely don't care.
Yep.
You
Girl, I
know,
hear that
I
100%.
as far as them culturally appropriating, I don't even call it that because I've never seen it done in any other way than a mockery in my book. Um, because I don't view cultural appropriation as a Hispanic woman raising a biracial child because her son or daughter um had relations with somebody black. That's not cultural appropriation to me because she's got to learn something about it because the child is here and needs to learn have that in their life. So I don't even view that as cultural appropriation in any case. But I've never seen it done outside of a mockery. Like
Real quick,
shit
I
like
only
that
brought that
whole
up to say some
stuff.
people will be like, why she asking me? Or, some people silly like that.
Yeah. Some people petty. I feel like that
Yeah,
would be petty to not, answer it. I mean, because you know what I'm saying. It's just it is
yeah.
what it is. But like shit like that, whoa Vicky shit and shit that go on social media, that is a mockery. Now that I don't like. However, on the flip side, they are following us even in bullshit. So who's the leader and who's the follower? Who's the chief and who's the Indian here? You know what I'm saying? Because they'll make you believe that they shit is superior, but you running around here while we doing fuck shit, they following up right behind it, trying to do the same shit. So it's like if you were already superior to what we were doing, why would you come down to peasants level to do shit that peasants do? Is it because we make oppression look good?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Make poverty look popular. Poverty's
We
popular.
just trendsetters, and people like doing shit that we do. But even if it's ratchet shit that nobody should do, uh, they kind of can't really do it how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like even when we doing stupid shit, they can't really do it and make it look any better. It looks stupid, and I hope nobody's trying to, what I'm saying, listen to the playback and like she defending ratchetry and stupid shit. Actually, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we gonna use the Woe Vicky girl. Look at what she thinks being black is, and how she be talking, and how her mannerisms are. If y'all don't know who Woe Vicky is, you really ain't missing shit. You probably gonna lose a few brain cells. But she's some skinny little white chick that be on Instagram. And you know what I'm saying? She do the whole trying to quote unquote talk black or whatever the hell she doing. And it looks stupid as hell. It looks stupid enough when black women do dumb shit. it's even more stupid looking when white women try to come behind it. They look just as stupid doing that shit as black women look trying to be fucking white. I'll put it like that. It all look kind of dumb to me. So my thing is, if they're following up behind us in dumb shit, what would they do if the majority of us weren't doing dumb shit? Would they follow up behind us then?
Possibly, possibly. I think they would. I think they would follow. I think they would try to mimic. Uh, I think other groups of women would try to mimic black women, no matter what they did. For the simple fact that, regardless of anything else, regardless of how much black people have been subjugated in this damn country, there's always been a fascination with black people. I think, especially when you're talking about white people, I mean, there's always been some degree of fascination with black people, fascination with our culture, fascination with the foods we eat, the way we dance, the way we do shit, um, our family structure. Because remember, back in the day, we were the people who were married at 80% and things of that nature. So I think they always had a little subconscious fascination with black people, and I believe that especially the women definitely have some degree of fascination with black people, because more white women date black men than white men date black women. That's just a statistical fact. Okay, more white women done crossed over to the black side than white men have. So I really believe that white women have a fascination with black people, not just black men. I think they have somewhat of a fascination for black people in general. Um, this is what I wanna say to you ladies. Now, me as a black man, now, like I said, I think that black women have all women beat, far as looks, far as body type, curves and shit like that. I think black women have all other women beat, in the beauty department, the cosmetic department. I just believe that myself. But I also believe that there are differences, because I've dated when I was a young guy, because I wasn't always married. I used to be I actually used to be a young single guy a long time ago. And like I told y'all earlier, I chased all kind of hoes. It didn't matter what color they was, or they was there. God damn it, they had a hole. I was trying to get in it, and I don't want black women to ever think. And I've told my wife this. I don't want black women to ever, ever think that white women are better, or Hispanic women are better, or Asian women are better than you black women are, because they're not. They're not better. Now, they're different. Some of them are different, but they're not better, because it's been my experience from the different women that I've been around throughout my life that women are pretty much the same. Um, believe it or not, uh, different women, Hispanic, white, Asian, black women, are pretty similar. They're pretty similar. I think it has a lot to do with the man. Now, of course, if you're a black man and you date a white woman, she's gonna be somewhat submissive to you, probably more submissive to you than she is a white man, believe it or not. Because she kind of does the whole role reversal thing, that black women do with white men. She does the whole thing. She's probably more submissive to you as a black man than she would be to a white man. Because one thing about white women, like I said, they have a fascination with black people, especially black men, and they have a full grasp of a black man's masculinity. So they're very submissive with black men. Hispanic women are pretty similar. they're pretty similar to black women. They're pretty similar. I mean, there's not much difference there, really. Take it from a man. Not a whole lot of difference there. It's really not. Okay. Um, Asian women. I was around Asian women when I was a young guy, in my 20s. They are they are more submissive than other women, but they're they're pretty much the same too. They're just a little more reserved. I mean, they're just as emotional. They are just as they can be just as mean spirited. So, I mean, women aren't that different. I mean, there's some subtle differences, depending on what you may be looking for in a woman. There's some subtle differences, but to be honest with y'all, I mean, most women are pretty much the same. So, I don't want any black woman. And like I said, I've told my wife this many, many times. I tell my daughters this, okay? I will tell my granddaughters this. I don't want black women to think any goddamn woman is better than y'all. Not better, different, not better. Because, see, different doesn't mean better. Different means different. Okay. Just like black women come in all different shades, body types, hair length, height, weight. Other women do too. They do too. The only ones that's kind of similar, to all of them are pretty much similar is Asian women. You don't see that many tall, fat Asian women. You just don't see that many. I mean, most of them are just these little pixie doodle looking things. Most of them. I mean, that's just the look they have. But other than that, I mean, the women are pretty much the same. Especially when you talk about long term. When you talk about long term relationships, I mean, I dated a woman who was when I was, guess I was like maybe 19. I dated a woman that was from Honduras, and I dated her for a year. And I mean, when I first met her, it was all different. I thought she was all exotic and also kind of bullshit. But after about 6 months, it was the same old shit. Yeah, it was the same old shit with a Honduran accent. I mean, it's the same shit. I mean, it's pretty much the same shit. So never think that other women are better, okay? Because they're not. They're not better. They're just different. That's it. Um, but I want to ask you ladies this. Do you think that we as black men, do you think that we've gotten blindsided by the hoopla and the media shit? Do you think we've gotten blindsided to think that the only way we can possibly have a woman long term who's going to be suitable for us is if we go, outside of black society? And when I say that, I'm saying that because of this, because like I said, you always hear about how, I got to stay the hell away from black women. I can't be around black women. I can't do this. I can't do that. So have we been blindsided? Has the propaganda made it so that brothers have just disregarded black women, discarded them, if you will, for other women? Or do you think that brothers just aren't capable of having a black woman because of something that's going on with them?
Uh, I don't know about that because if we asking if black men as a whole are somehow enamored of some other group of women or whatever, I wouldn't say that because when you ask your average black dude, do he even like black women? Usually he's gonna say yes. So I wouldn't put that on the group because if it really wouldn't be a point in trying to fight this fight if I really believed in my heart that my counterpart didn't care nothing about me. You know what I'm saying? Um, I find that only Nifnon men uh only Nifnon only Nifnon men have an issue with black women. It's probably because they can't get one. But see, it's not only that they can't get black women, they can't get women. Period. See, it's not just about black women, it's about women. Because see, it works the same either way you go on either side of the fence, right? So if you got a woman that can't pull a man, it's not that she can't pull a black man. She can't pull a man because of her. So it's not everybody else's fault. It's her fault. It's something she got to do differently, or it's something about her that if she can change it, she needs to. And it's the same thing with men. If you can't find no woman, it's something wrong with you. It's not just wrong with just one group of women, because if it was just one group of women, you wouldn't actually have nothing to say about those women because that's just one group of women. But you cool with all the other groups of women, so you would just go where the other groups of women are that's feeling you. And you really wouldn't have time to think about a small subsection of women who not feeling you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think about Asian men because on the whole, Asian men ain't feeling black women. So I don't think about Asian men. I don't talk about Asian men. I don't be like, man, why Asian men don't like black women? Because I don't give a shit. You see what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care what they like. I'm able to pull a black man. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not having trouble pulling a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Man, I wonder why Tibetan men don't like black women. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking about dumb shit that don't affect me one way or another. But if I
Exactly.
had trouble with all men, no matter where I went or who I was around, then you might hear me complaining about some stupid shit and trying to blame it on, well, it's these men over here, it's these men over here. No, baby girl, it's you. You're the one you're the Nifnon in the you're the Nifnon in the equation. So you need to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how you gonna step your game up because it's not stepped up. So I only find non-factored men to have some type of color struck. Oh man, these women are better than black women, and these women are better than black women. My challenge is, if those other women are so much better than black women, and you have access to those women, where your woman at? Where she at? Like, where your hoes at? That's all I want to know.
Where your hoes?
Where them hoes at? You know what I'm saying? You should be surrounded by hoes. There's a lot of women just in America that's from different cultures. They're not black. They're not, you know what I'm saying? You could go to a whole lot of pockets in America and find you a bunch of different women. America, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of different people with a lot of different ethnic backgrounds, and they look different and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't like black women and black women ain't for you, but you got access to these other women and they flock to you, I just want to know where your hoes at.
Uh, that's what I say. See, I don't have a problem. See, if brothers want to be with other kind of women, I don't have a problem with that shit. Okay, you want to be with Hispanic women, Asian women, because my sons they have children with Hispanic women. Okay, they have Hispanic. I have Hispanic daughters-in-laws. So I mean, I don't care. I mean, because I would be a hypocrite, like Lady Ming was talking about earlier, right? I would be a hypocrite if I told my sons don't mess with Hispanic women when I chased Hispanic hoes when I was their age. That'd be stupid. I mean, because I was the screwing Hispanic women, so I can't. Oh man, don't be with the Hispanic women. That was kind of nonsense. That's stupid. So I don't. It doesn't really bother me that they have children with Hispanic women. It doesn't bother me because they look black and they look like me anyway. But I couldn't tell them not to do it because I did it. Now, me myself personally, when I was coming up, like I said, I chased hoes of all stripes. But when I finally got with a woman to have children, she was black. I married a black woman. I never intended on marrying some white woman or some Asian woman or some Hispanic woman. That was never. Okay, that was never my intention. Now, young and dumb, and full of calm, I'm unloading it on anybody who willing to take it. But when you talk about getting serious and getting to the man's age, you focus your sights on a particular thing. And I was a brother who focused my sights on black women. Okay. That's who I had my kids with. That's who I married. But I don't have a problem with brothers out there. You want to go out there and be with white women and everybody else, go ahead and do that. My problem is when you, like you said, Lady Kendra, you claim you got all these other women you got access to, and you want to talk shit. I can't say this enough. You want to talk shit about the women you claim you don't want. That's stupid. Okay? That's stupid. I mean, I have a dog in the back of my house, right? He's part bull massive and he's part lab. He's a huge fucking dog. Okay. And I'm crazy about the dog. What sense would it make if I sat on, because I didn't want a German Shepherd, I didn't want a pit bull. So what sense would it make if I sat around all day talking about how I hate pit bulls and German Shepherds? I don't have one, so it doesn't matter. You understand? You
I
understand?
do.
Nigger hoes out there, do you understand? So I just want to say that. Continue, ladies.
What? Was it my turn?
It's who's ever turn
I
wants
think
to
I
go.
answered the question.
You did?
Hmm.
You
Girl,
sure?
I know I didn't answer the question, but I'm trying to remember what the question was, and because I
Yeah,
know I had
I'm
an answer.
back,
You know what I mean?
so I wanted to know what the question was as well.
Well, the question was, do do you ladies think that the brothers have discarded black women due to all the shit that we hear on media, that this women's better, Asian women are better, white women are better, Hispanic women are better, women from Mars are better, that kind of shit. Do you think that they have discarded women mostly because of that? Or black women, I should say, because of that? Or have they discarded black women because something's going on with them? What do you think it
Oh,
is?
I think some of them have bought into it, but I think for the most part, I think a lot of black men are still with black women. I don't think black women have been discarded.
nope. Nope, not at all. And see, that's the thing. They what what happens is a bunch of little boys with their little hurt feelings show up on the internet and they're looking for something to confirm that the problem isn't them. They find someone spouting the rhetoric that they want to hear, and they go, "See, it's not me, it's those women," and they jump on board. Now, the truth of the matter is they're not hooking white women either. It's just their only experiences with black women, and they had their heart broken or whatever. So all black women are terrible, because stereotyping is totally okay and makes perfect sense. And I think the thing is, like we got to really look at this concept of confirmation bias. We see what we want to see and we discard anything that doesn't confirm the biases we're looking to see. Um, if maybe you had a bad experience with your mother, so you decided all black women are terrible and whatever, what you're going to do is look in the environment for women who confirm that. You're not going to look for the women who are good black women who aren't on drugs, who aren't dressed like hoes, who aren't whatever. You're going to not notice them. You might pass 100 of them. And then when you see the one who is on drugs and dressed like a hoe, you're going to say, see, look, all black women are like that. So, I think at the end of the day, that it's all something about what's going on with them. Now, there are the men who, what, it's just their socialization. They were socialized in mostly white neighborhoods, and, maybe they had a white mom because they're biracial or something, or, whatever the case is. And, they fell in love with a white woman and they're gonna marry her and have kids with her and whatever. You know what? Those are the ones who aren't online. We're not hearing from those guys. Those aren't the ones who are
Mhm.
sitting there spouting some bullshit rhetoric. They fell in love with some white woman and they're moving on in life. It's the
Mhm.
same thing with
Mhm.
black women who I fell in love with a white dude. It is what it is. They're not sitting there online going, every black woman, you need to find a white man because that's how you'll be treated like a lady or whatever bullshit, right? Like, um, that's how there's nothing wrong with them because you know what? They're just living their lives. Yeah, they happen to fall in love with someone of another race. Is what it is. They've moved on. The ones who feel the need to spout the rhetoric constantly and get um, confirmation from the world that they're not wrong and that other people feel that way, those are the ones that what they've done is they've had their little heart broken some way or the other. They've decided to stereotype all women as a result. And they've decided that, you know, I don't know, X race of women are way better. Now the problem is that they're going to then overlook all of the behavior that is exactly the same in these Asian women or in these white women or in these whatever women that they're trying to say that it's only black women do, and they're going to justify it and they're going to say, oh no, there's a thing, no, but white women don't do it. When white women do it, it's cute, right? Like, I mean, they'll say whatever they can to get out of just admitting the fact that the rhetoric is some bullshit. Um, and
Mhm.
those are the people, again, there's something wrong with them. They're not buying into media because you know what? You see as much evidence in the media of black men and black women sticking together, whether dysfunctional or not. And that's their dating pool, and it is what it is. And if they do date some white person, it's a weird fling, and then they go back to dating black people. You see that just as much as you see interracial couples, just as much as you see whatever else, right? You look at and you notice and you accept what you want to accept. You discard the rest. So the ones who are sitting there trying to pretend otherwise are the ones who have serious psychological issues and need help. They should seriously actually get like some counseling and realize that, you know what, the world breaks your heart sometimes. It's sad. It doesn't mean that all people who look remotely like the person who broke your heart are terrible, evil, mean people. The end.
Mhm.
She said the end.
Mhm. Sorry.
Oh God. Next, did everybody answer that question?
The end.
Oh, the end. That's the
The
end.
end. That was it.
That's the end for
Finito.
everybody.
We got this one.
I don't think Lady Cats went. Did you go, Lady Cats? Let me check.
Yes, I did
Oh
answer
shit. Well,
earlier.
I'm just sitting.
Mm,
I'm just sitting here daydreaming. Then, um,
mhm,
well,
It's okay.
let me, because we coming to like the last 15 minutes of this here broadcast. So let me ask
Mhm.
you. Let me ask you, ladies, this. Um, Often, and we talked about this earlier. We talked about competition, and a few of you ladies did say you feel some degree of competition with women, not just necessarily women from other races, but women in general. Should that competition that you ladies spoke of earlier, should that competition include should it include a race? For instance, if say there's some white girl or some Asian girl or some Hispanic girl, because you know how you go to places where black people hang out and there's always a few white girls in there. It's usually more white girls in there than white guys, or more Hispanic girls in there than Hispanic guys if it's a black spot, right? So you had a black spot and there's white girls in there and Hispanic girls in there. And they're in there. They're in there to try to get some black penis. Let's just be clear about it. That's why they're in there. Should that competition that you ladies spoke of, should that competition be based solely on race? For it, like I said, for instance, if men are in there, do you think that men in that situation, I should say, I'm gonna rephrase the question. Do you think that men in that setting, in that situation, if you ladies in there, other black ladies are in there, there's Hispanic women in there, there's white women in there, do you ladies believe that the brothers are more prone to go after the white woman just because she's white, or or just because she's white and she happens to be in a black place, or she could be Hispanic or Asian or whatever? Do you think they're going for, if they're going for her, are they going for her just because she's Asian or she's white or she's Hispanic, or are
You
they
know
going
Are
for
what?
you
her because
talking
she's in
about in a club setting?
any kind of setting, a
Yeah.
barbecue?
So that really hasn't been my reality. So I'm not. I'm gonna speak more from just what I've witnessed outside looking in, or my own like common sense. First and foremost, if it was a room of white, black, Asians, and Hispanics, the only thing that would come remotely close would be a Hispanic person, that a brother, if he was deciding between me and somebody else. And I say that because if you like a white girl or Asian girl, you don't like me. We're so different that you wouldn't even be considering between the two of us. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like I'm bottom heavy more so than top heavy. So if you a titty man, you ain't even looking at me. I married an ass man. You feel me? So we wouldn't even, we're not even on the same wavelength. So I've never, ever, ever considered them competition. And I've never even considered Hispanic women competition. But if we had to lay it out there and say, where would the brothers go if they were to put someone up against me of another ethnicity, it would be a Hispanic woman. And you'll say, well, what do you have over a Hispanic woman? Well, I've never did the math, but me being just the unique soul that I am, right now, that in and of itself is enough. I told you I've never even been in the competitive headspace of it as it was into romance. The type of competition that I have is where, like I said from the beginning, where it's me against myself, or it's me against a benchmark that I deem I will never fall beneath. So I'm walking outside. It's me against the world. It's like, okay, she got her shit together. If I'm walking, you got some smooth jazz playing, because that's how smooth I am. It's me. It has nothing to do with, oh shit, if I show up, Classic Ruby gonna have this on, and Kendra, her hair gonna be done like this, and damn, did you see Cass last time her six pack was right? No, fuck that. I'm going, if anything, I'm comparing myself to who I was the last time you saw me. It has nothing to do with you. Now, you can call that conceit, you can call that narcissism, but I like to call it self-esteem. Okay, so I'm not even in that headspace. So even the people that I surround myself with, because this is an energy world that we live in, I don't even attract them type of people. Because if you ain't ever been through shit, we don't have nothing in common off rip. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it don't even matter. So I usually don't even attract those type of people. And those that are brave enough to come inside of my circle that are of other ethnicities, they do it respectfully, and they come and humbly wanting to learn. You feel me? Okay, and that's just the honest to God truth, because I live and I give off an energy where anybody can get it. So either way, you're gonna come correct or you're not gonna come at all. I'm known to say roll with it or roll out, and I give that off 100%. So a lot of these situations, especially on this topic, I'm just telling you what I would do if it were me, or what I seen done, because honestly, I don't even attract that bullshit. And that's the truth. And
Lady,
bottom line,
Yeah, I like
anybody that want to
that.
deal with a white person, Asian, they not fucking with me. So I don't even ever be putting that foot race. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quite all right with that. Y'all should already understand that I don't have time for that shit. It's so much going on in this world. I better put my good brain and my feminine wiles towards. It won't be petty shit like this. It's just
Girl,
not.
you better let them know, girl.
Yeah.
Because if we all in the same room together, I got such a energy. I got such a energy to, first of all, it's fuck boy repellent. Okay. That's number one. It's fuck boy repellent. And I'm saying that, but that's real shit. I have always repelled fuck boys. Always. Because I'm real. And only real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? I'm built for a certain type of dude. So if you ain't that dude, you're not even gonna come my way anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because there have been situations where certain kinds of dudes won't talk to me, and I be knowing that if I was a lesser woman, he would. But because my energy is what it is, and I know how to direct it, I know how to cut it off, I know how to turn it on, I know how to put it out, tuck it in. I know what I'm doing. So, you know what I'm saying? If she ain't got what I got, it ain't no competition. But if he just like some other woman just because she's a different kind of woman, then he ain't checking for me anyway. Like I said, I got a certain type of energy. This what y'all getting on the internet, it's me maybe times two. But this is really me. This is really the energy that I carry everywhere. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I'm in a certain type of setting, only a certain type of dude would even deem to step to me. You know what I'm saying? I only attract alpha males. Only.
And if he
Those are the
want
only
her,
ones
he
that,
don't
yeah.
want me.
And if you want her,
I
he
ain't even his
don't
type.
want me. You know what I'm saying? Like Mean said, she married an ass man. So if you a tit man, you won't look at her. I'm the opposite.
Mm-mm.
If you like a bitch with a rack, talk to me. If you like a bitch with a big ass, I ain't your girl.
And I
You know
was
what I'm
okay
saying?
with that.
And
And
I'm
that's
all
the part
right
I
with
don't
it.
get around these people on this internet and all around. They don't want me. They don't want me. Get over it, because there's always gonna be
Right.
somebody who does. Like straight up and down. That's like me sitting up here crying because I don't have double D's and he like titties. What type of dumb shit do that make?
Right.
And I'm
It just
Right.
shows
overlooking all the
how
other good
insecure those
brothers
women
who
are.
think that I'm gorgeous. Like that's crazy as hell. That's crazy.
Mhm.
That's just crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
but
that
see,
just shows
but
how insecure they are if they're gonna obsess over somebody liking a white chick over. I mean, if he likes white girls, just go ahead, move on to the next brother. Because
mhm.
there are most brothers are attracted to black women. So why are you obsessing over the couple who like white women?
Right. That don't even
But like
make
I've
no damn
never
sense.
noticed that because to me, at the end of the day, you know what I've noticed in the atmosphere? I've noticed the people who are attracted to me. The ones who aren't
Right.
attracted to me, honestly, like I don't even notice them. So I don't know who they're attracted to. It's not me. So I don't feel you. You don't feel me. I don't feel that there's a thing that happens in the air between two people when there's a thing. If I don't feel that, I don't know who you're checking for. I'm not
Mm-mm.
noticing who you're checking for. So I don't care who you're checking for. It's not me. That's it.
And
It's
ladies, I
very
just want to
simple.
interject this. You may be listening and saying, "Oh, that's just some unicorn shit. Y'all married and y'all feel that way." No, let me explain something to you.
Mhm.
You might say, okay, I'm sitting here and I have no choice but to look at the people who aren't looking at me because ain't nobody checking for me. Baby girl, busy yourself, honey. It would change the whole goddamn aura and energy you putting out when you
Mhm.
got something more going on with yourself other than what other people think of you. You will
Yep.
look up and realize that you don't have time to check for people that ain't checking for you because there's so many
Damn.
men who are gravitating to that energy, to that power, to that royalness that all that shit don't even matter. The only way you can pay attention to what somebody else is doing is because you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Yep.
Head down and
Girl.
grind. Trust
Hmm.
me, they will come. They will flock around that because can't no man on God's green earth say that they don't want some, especially our man. If you checking for a black man, he don't want no weak, head down. I don't know what's going on around me. I don't have a life outside of you. I don't know my ass from my elbow type of woman. That is a myth.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
is
And the
it?
and a
thing
man that
is
wants
that they
that
don't
type of
want
woman,
some
you
desperate
don't
woman
want
either.
him. Yeah, don't
Mhm.
nobody desperate either. And desperation is tangible. You could touch desperation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
reeks
Hmm.
off of you. Flat
desperation
out.
Shit,
is
you thirsty
is
as hell. If you
propelling.
running around here thirsty as hell, then all you can expect is a nigga to throw a bottle of Gatorade upside your head, bitch.
That's
You
it.
cannot be running around here fucking thirsty. You know what I'm saying? You better pop what you got. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, and I've said it before. I say it again because there's some women out there I know that think how I used to think or whatever. If you look into the mirror and you be like, man, I don't look like this chick, that chick, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, If you constantly on Instagram looking at Instagram bitches hating and being jealous, you know what I'm saying? First of all, know that a lot of them bitches is fake made.
Mhm.
That's
Oh
number one.
yes,
Yes.
they ain't even
Number
airbrush. They
two,
just fake.
right? They just fake all the way down because only a small percentage of women that's really shaped like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not really the general shape of women.
Mhm.
So stop deluding yourself and looking at social media and all this shit, comparing yourself to bitches that's got money to go and tell a doctor to build them a fucking body. You know what I'm saying?
But see, like
And
I
then
don't understand
secondly,
all of that. Like it doesn't make any sense because I never had an ass. I date black men. Black men notoriously like asses. You know what I would do? I'd go, "Aw, I wish I didn't have this flat white girl ass," and then I was done. I didn't bring that outside when I'm walking around and stuff. Like I'm trying to hide it and like all of that kind of foolishness. Oh well, they might notice I don't have a black ass. Girl, of course they're gonna notice. Like it's there. I don't care. I'm not walking around and that's what
right,
I'm doing. I'm not worried about what I don't have. I'm worried about what I do have, and
right,
that's
and how
it.
you gonna
And
work
if what
that?
I
Right.
exactly right, I got the upstairs department. I always everything I wear, I always had cleavage on display. I still do it, right? And bottom half, just I'm trying to make it look like about as shapely as it can be, and then I'm good, right? And I don't care if
Mm-hmm.
that's not good enough for whoever's looking at me. Well, then you're not the one. So I'm not
Right.
worried about you.
And
I'm worried
it
about
is
the
what
people I came out with. I'm
right.
worried about the concert I'm at and who's on stage. The last thing I'm worried about is whether or not I have an ass or if that girl has an ass or da da da. My friend might have a better ass than me, and I'm gonna be like, girl, damn, you
And
look so good in those jeans, and that's
and
it.
if you say,
I'm
I
Mm.
done.
don't know how to do that, fake it till you make it. It takes 14 days
Yep.
to make or break a habit. Anytime those negative thoughts come into your head, redirect them somewhere else. After a
Mhm.
while, that shit'll be second nature. And then you'll notice that shit ain't even an issue no more. Fake it till you
Mhm.
make it.
Yeah, you know what? Y'all had to learn, and if you're not quote unquote, you don't feel, or you're not, or whatever, this some kind of gorgeous bombshell that walk into a room and every nigga turn their head. The best advice I can give you is start developing your non-sexual feminine energy.
Yeah.
Develop that shit
Mhm.
Yeah.
because that shit is more potent than if you were to walk into a room butt naked. And if you don't
Yeah,
believe
because
me, you
my
don't
husband has
believe me,
definitely
I have
whispered in my ear
definitely,
that
yes.
I want to hit that after I done did some real non-feminine, like I done went off or did something that it just made him like, damn, girl. And it
Right.
was when during handling business times, not
Mm-hmm.
sexy, thong whipped cream
Mm-hmm.
times. It was doing business times that he
Mhm.
whispered that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? That shit turned them on, especially a black man. That shit turned them all the way to hell on when you have all this other energy. Because believe you me, when I want to enter a room, I enter that motherfucker. Best
Mhm.
believe. And I might not be the best looking woman in there, but I'm probably the sexiest woman in there.
Mhm.
And it will
Mm-hmm.
have
Mhm.
very little to do with what I have on or any of that. Cause I got a
Mhm.
strut, I
Mhm.
got an energy, and that shit be attracting niggas. Niggas be like, oh,
Ooh,
well,
that
damn.
walk
You
gotta be
know what I'm
mean.
saying?
Practice that walk, girls. Practice that
Practice your
walk.
motherfucking walk. Cause I tip like a Maltese cat when I get ready to
Okay.
do it. All
But
right.
see, you know what? And that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing, though. The thing that you got to remember, though, because I couldn't do that, right? I don't have that. We've talked about this before. And I wasn't saying it to put myself down. I was saying it because, listen, we all got something, right? You got your things that you have, whether they're sexual or non-sexual traits. And the thing is, you don't need to watch that girl and say how, oh, well, that girl's getting all these men this way. I got to be her. I got to do what she's doing. You need to embrace you and what you've got and what you can do. What are your assets, right? Like I'm awkward as fuck. I am. The way I move, whatever, like I throw myself through life and it is what it is, right? I'm not gonna sit there and
Did you
pretend
say
that
you
what I'm
throw
gonna be able.
yourself through life?
I
Is that
do
your
like
walk?
really
You throw
like
yourself down the street?
Yeah, pretty much just kind of throw myself from area to area. No, but you know what the thing is though, is it works for me. I just embrace it. It is what it is. And at 220 pounds or 120 pounds and everything in between, I am who I am. I've never tried to be someone else, and that's what works for me, right? Is I never tried to be that girl who has the ultra confident, fierce walk in heels. Like I can walk in heels without looking completely ridiculous, but I don't look fierce. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's okay. Embrace yourself. If you can find that self love and that self confidence and you figure out what you've got going on and that's the thing that you're proud of and you feel that and you don't need the world to tell you you got that thing, you just got that thing. You just walk outside. Like Ken just said, she knows she's going to walk into a room and she has that presence and she has that confidence and she has that sexiness. And she doesn't need
Mm-hmm.
what that girl over there sitting on the couch has because she has what she has, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what she's embraced and she's perfected. You got to figure out who you are and then do you.
And to bring it full circle, you may say, well, y'all digressed off into some other shit. No, not really, because we're telling
Mhm.
you from black women to black women what black men are looking for. Because
Mhm.
I really truly believe a lot of people do defect because they don't feel like they fit in over here, or they don't know how, or whatever the case may be based off their personal circumstances. So they decide to go play over there. When the truth of the matter is, we just need to have more conversations like this so you can understand that even though you see one thing in your area, it's not that way all around the world. And if we can do it, you can do it, especially if you've heard our stories and things like that. You
Mhm.
know, listen to Ruby. She throw herself down the sidewalk. She don't even
I
walk.
really
You
do.
know what I'm
I
saying?
really do.
So and that's why we're talking about it, because I truly believe that. I don't know about black men and their motive. I'm not one. But you can't tell me that as a black woman and what God gave us that you would prefer to give it to a white man over a black one. You can't make me believe that shit. You're not gonna make me believe it. I'm sorry. Especially not considering the type of white men a lot of them choose. I mean, at least if you're gonna go date out with a multi-millionaire guy who treats you lovely, writes you poetry, and got
Right. Don't
swag
get
out of
with
this
the
world with a big dick.
Unabomber.
Like y'all over here tripping. Because
Yeah,
if you're
get
gonna
with the
struggle,
mo.
Mhm.
do it with a black guy. So the only reason why you'll choose to struggle with a white guy over a black guy is because you think you don't fit in with that black guy.
Mhm.
That don't make no sense to
Mhm.
me. And I could be wrong, but look, if it don't make sense, it ain't true. Because I'm smart.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I I
I kid, I kid.
I wanted to talk about this tonight because it's always good to hear this stuff. It's always good to hear this stuff from women. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to hear this kind of stuff. Because my shit is about opening people's minds. So, if we can make people think a little different, especially young folks, not old fogies like me who already wrapped up and married and probably will be dead in another 20 years. But for for young folks, who are coming up and trying to find their way through shit, this type of shit is important if they're willing to listen to it, and they're willing to try to understand it and get a better perspective of it. Um, like I said earlier, I mean, there's good and bad women on all spectrums, whether they black, white, Hispanic, Asian, from Mars, from Jupiter, from outer space, from underwater. Okay, I mean, there's good and bad in all of that. All right, there's good and bad in that whole thing when you're talking about women. Just like there's beautiful black women, there's beautiful white women, there's beautiful Hispanic women, there's beautiful Asian women. There's ugly ass black women. There's ugly ass white women. There's ugly ass fucking Hispanic women and Asian women. Okay, so I mean, none of that shit really, really matters to most black men because when it comes to black men, the statistical facts are this: 85% of black men who get married to black women. So that other 15% who's not getting married to black women is a minority. So that kind of lets you know where black men are as far as who they marry. Now, the brothers who do marry out, they probably marry out for a whole different host of reasons, and we could probably spend all night talking about it. But the fact still remains is that most black men want to marry black women. That's a fact. There's no disputing that. There's no, the numbers just bear it out. So when you hear brothers talk about defecting and going here and going there. They really don't know the numbers, because they must be talking about a lot of the single brothers, the brothers who are single. They must be talking about them. And me speaking as a married man, and I have a lot of brothers who are married like me, and they're married to black women. I mean, I don't have any friends that are married to white women, or I don't have any friends like that. None of my friends are married to like white women. None of them. I mean, my sons have children. They have my youngest son has a Hispanic wife. Okay. But I mean, I don't know anybody who's married to a white woman. I don't know anybody. I don't know. I just don't. So I mean, it is what it is. And I also want to say this. I have to say this too, because see, I have daughters and granddaughters, all right, who are black. And I don't ever want them to feel like because they're black, they need to be like somebody else, look like somebody else, or act like somebody else, or think some other ethnic group of female is better than them. I don't want them to ever think that, ever. Okay. If you want to find a woman, and I'll say this before we close out, if you want to find a woman that's better than you, you're probably going to have to look in the mirror and make that woman in the mirror better than you. That's my advice. That's what I tell my daughters. Okay. That's what I tell my wife. That's what I tell the other females that are around me, because I'm surrounded by a lot of females. And I tell them all this same shit you hear. I tell them it's all the same shit. Okay. You want to find a better woman. You want to be a better woman. You want to be around a better woman. You want to look like a better woman. Start with the woman in the mirror. Start with her. Make her better. Make her the better woman. That's all I can say. But anyway, ladies, good shit tonight, as always. Good shit tonight, as always. I hope y'all was paying attention. I hope y'all was listening. If you weren't listening, you might want to go ahead and rewind it back, because T.L.O.T was dropping some nuggets, especially for you young ladies that's out there, because I know I got some female. I don't have a lot of y'all watching me, but I do have some, and some of you younger females could learn a lot from what you heard here tonight, because like I said, T.L.O.T is always dropping some nuggets on y'all, and I hope y'all are listening. I do. I hope y'all listen. I just hope you listen. I do. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming through and checking me out, checking out T.L.O.T on this Thursday night broadcast. What I want y'all to do is go ahead and put some likes down in here, if you don't mind. If you didn't do it on the way in, God damn it, do it on the way out. And also, if you don't mind, you might want to go ahead and drop some coins in this here bucket right here. See right there where it says the Prophet of Thought series. See right there, it looks like it's been swiped with a yellow highlighter. Hit that old Streamlabs tab and drop a few coins in the bucket if you're feeling generous. But anyway, I need y'all to go out there and check out the old Prophet of Thought series main Facebook page. That's Prophet of Thought series on Facebook. Y'all are starting to get it. Y'all haven't been writing me, X, how we can't get on the page. Y'all done figured it out. It's Prophet of Thought, one word, series, next word. That's the main page. It's a community page. It's not a personal page, but you can get on there. You can like, you can follow. Make sure you share the page. Check out what's going on there. You can always catch up with me on there. You can actually shoot me a message too. I always answer my messages within a day. Those of you who write me know that I do. And you can also catch up with the U4 there as well. Also, get on over to the TPOT bandwagon page on Facebook. Now, that is a personal page. You can actually send a friend request to that page. I will make sure it gets clicked back quick. Also, find yourself over there on the old Prophet of Thought series fan group page. Yeah, the fan group page. Go up there, request to be a member. You'll get accepted quick. Trust me, you will. There's a lot of people in there, close to $3,000. Become one of the 3,000, because I want to Want to get it to 3,000 before the month's over. I tried to get it there last month. It didn't happen. We only got to like 2,800. So I only need 2 more hundred of y'all to hit my mark. So get on over there. Become one of the 3,000. Like I tell y'all all the time, there's all kinds of shit over there. It's not just my stuff. You know, it's a fan group page. So it's probably very little of my stuff because other people be posting all kinds of shit up there too. So you ain't just got to listen to old X bump his gums. You got other people over there bumping their damn gums too. Also, make sure you get on over there and check us out on WhatsApp. Hit us up on WhatsApp and hit us up on Instagram. That's Proper Thought on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and you guarantee to get a follow back. Also, make sure you hit us up on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. At TPOT Media on Twitter. Stop by the TPOT Media Twitter page. Go ahead and follow us. You guarantee to get a follow back. I keep telling y'all every week, follow us on Twitter or I'm going to haunt your mama tonight. Ha ha! Also, make sure you get on down there to the Proper Thought Series webpage. That's www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. That's www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. Always some good stuff down there. You can catch up with the U4 there as well. Also, make sure you stop by Tribute to the Fallen. That's right. I talk about it every week. Stop by the old Tribute to the Fallen page. If you have pictures that you want to send me of somebody who's met an untimely death, whether it be by police violence or violence in the streets, my email's right there on the Tribute to the Fallen page, right next to the carousel. You can hit me up, send me a picture. Make sure you send me the person's name, and I'll make sure they get up on the old Tribute to the Fallen carousel so that person could be paid tribute to as long as X black ass is around. And not only that, you can also catch up with me there. Lots of old archive stuff there, and also there's actually some links there that can link you to Channel 7 News so you can keep up with what's going on in other places, not just the places that you live. You can catch up with other places too. So make sure you stop by the old TPOT website, www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. My mods in the chat always up there doing what they supposed to do. Also, I want to thank you for watching tonight, coming through, spending some time with us. Make sure you have your black behind here next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, because T.L.O.T will be back in the house dropping some more nuggets on your brains. So once again, I have to thank the ladies of thought, you four, Lady Ming, Lady Cats, Lady Classic, and Lady Kendra. T.L.O.T, the ladies of thought, dropping it as always. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words, like I always do.
Open your mind.
And we out of here, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers, y'all.
Good shit tonight, ladies.
Good night, guys.
Peace, folks.
Open your mind.
Lady Kendra, Lady Cat, Lady Ling. only from TV. Open your minds.